As we await the celebration and preparation for the celebration of Easter, the season of Lent is a moment, is an event that we prepare ourselves to receive the fullness of the resurrection. The resurrection event has happened, but if we are not prepared to accept and receive it, then the resurrection event will just be an idea. For the resurrection event is indeed a real event also for those who open themselves to the risen Lord. That is why in this Lenten season, the Church invites us to first, prayer, second, fasting, and then third, charity. Prayer, our relationship with God. Fasting, our desire to forget ourselves. Charity, to think of others. Others as people to be loved, as subjects, as brethren to be loved. I was thinking that this somehow also are expressed in our social pastoral involvement, in our migrant and itinerant ministries, and in our Lumen Christi and bringing the light of Christ to all nations, in our prayer and in our mass media ministry. During this time of Lent, may I invite you not only to reflect on prayer, fasting, and charity, in our social pastoral involvement, in our migrant itinerant ministries, Lumen Christi and Lumen Gentium, but even more to make an event, a personal event with our community about the journey that Jesus showed us, especially to that point, to that apex of His resurrection. That in our own little journey, whether it is a journey of suffering, it is a journey of death, will lead us into that moment of resurrection. As instruments of this, to facilitate our journey, I invite you to be more conscious of our connection, our being connected with God. And therefore, we need quality silence. I told you, you can be quiet, but not necessarily silent. Quality silence is the silence of the five senses, the silence of everything that we are and that we have, which means it is a purification, a purgation, saying no to our usual activity or to our usual tendencies. Second, this Lent will open up more avenues to be loving and more lovable. When we love, we do not count. When we love, we keep giving. When we love, we rise up above all things. When we love, we allow ourselves to be transformed. Then finally, every moment that we see or other opportunities that we experience may be a moment of forgetting ourselves. We fast so that others may feast. We cannot talk, we cannot live really like living out for the others if we are insensitive to the needs of others, starting in our own communities. This is the first day of our reflection. Today is Ash Wednesday, and I hope that more and more we can live this invitation. I invite that during supper time we eat in silence. And after night prayer, we live great silence. And Tuesdays and Fridays, we have the Stations of the Cross, whether canned, something that is spontaneous, or something that we can agree on how we can reflect the stations of Jesus, his stations on the cross, his station to Calvary. But let us not focus on the cross, but let us focus on Jesus, being sensitive to his thoughts, feelings, actions. In other words, to be sensitive on his being, on his person. So we start this moment together, and let us not also forget that we do not eat on Lent except on Sundays and other great feast days. Let us be joyful because the Lord has given us everything of himself, and this is proven by his victorious resurrection from the dead.